Ladies, gentlemen, and wrestling fans alike, welcome to this week's iteration of the Raw Rundown. We're going to be going over everything that went down last night on Monday Night Raw, along with my own hot takes, fantasy bookings, and personal opinions along the way as well. If you enjoyed this video and content just like this, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. Now let's get right into it. The show kicked off with Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman making their appearance. Seth cut a promo essentially saying that now that he and his group of guys are in charge, the future of the industry runs through them. They were then interrupted by Sami Zayn, who came out to ask Seth a couple of personal questions. You know, these two have been friends in the past, but Sami was wondering how is what Seth doing now any different than the bloodline that he fought so hard to destroy. Sami was saying that everything Seth is doing right now is probably just because he was jealous of Roman Reigns, or at least that's what it seemed like to him. Obviously, Seth wasn't very happy about what Sami Zayn was saying. However, he was saying that he does respect Sami and that he sees him as one of his oldest friends that he's had here in the WWE. Seth wanted to do a favor for Sami Zayn, and he said that obviously, Sami isn't on their side, and he doesn't want to hurt him. He doesn't want him to get in the way, so he wanted to send Sami Zayn over to SmackDown. He then gave Sami until the end of the night to make his decision. Up next was the very first match we got of the night between Rhea Ripley and NXT's Roxanne Perez. Overall, this match was pretty good. It was a really good showing for Roxanne Perez, really showing that she does deserve to be here on the main roster. I mean, I know she was in the Elimination Chamber. She was the longest woman in the Royal Rumble this year. I'd like to see her officially called up to the main roster sometime soon. Late into the match, we got an appearance from Julia, who ended up attacking Rhea Ripley and getting Perez disqualified. They didn't really seem to care about the outcome of the match, though, because they kind of came out and just jumped Rhea Ripley, but Io Sky would come out to make the save for Rhea. Again, though, the two NXT stars would take advantage of the numbers game and get the best over Io Sky, until again Rhea Ripley made her way back into the ring to help out the women's champion. Up next was an in-ring promo from Logan Paul, who was reminding us that he is an absolute legend of the sport, and that he beat a WWE legend in AJ Styles at WrestleMania. After he was done hyping himself up, he called out World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso, saying that the only thing left for Logan Paul to do was win a world title. Of course, this prompted Jey Uso to make his way down to the ring, and he wasn't taking any of Logan's disrespect. Jey said that since Gunther's attack on Jimmy Uso, this is a new Jey Uso. This isn't the old Jey Uso that we've known for the past 15 years. This is a World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso, and I'm really excited to see where this feud goes, I guess. I thought they were going to go the Karrion Kross route for Logan Paul, maybe return to AJ Styles with him, but I don't know, I guess we'll see where this takes us first. I hope Karrion is still involved in this somehow, though. Up next, we got a tag team match between the Judgment Day with the returning JD McDonough and the War Raiders. Overall, I thought this was a pretty decent match. I mean, JD McDonough looked great in his in-ring return. The most entertaining part of it, though, had to be the New Day over on commentary. They were just hilarious all match long. By the end, though, Penta would make his appearance. He would get his revenge on JD McDonough while the ref was not looking, and the War Raiders would pick up the W in this one. Next up was the heel debut of a returning Becky Lynch. She was basically just stating her motives as a heel here now. She admitted to attacking Bayley back at WrestleMania and taking her spot in that match. And as to why she did it, she said that it was because Bayley has been attacking her non-stop since 2019. Becky said that Bayley wanted to see what a star looks like. Well, she showed her. Next, she turned her attention to Lyra Valkyria, the Women's Intercontinental Champion. She said that she was mad at Lyra because after everything that they've been through, she ended up teaming with her biggest enemy in Bayley. Becky said that at WrestleMania, she never would have won it with Bayley as a partner, and everything that Lyra has accomplished so far in the WWE has been because of Becky. Lyra then made her way out to the ring to challenge Becky face to face. I thought she did a really good job on the mic, especially when she made her callback to the NXT Championship, saying that Becky was still jealous that Lyra was a better wrestler than her, all the way back in NXT. Of course, this segment also confirmed a match for us at Backlash for the Women's Intercontinental Championship between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Overall, I'd say it's a little bit early to make my final match predictions for this match, although I am happy that we are finally getting a real feud for the Intercontinental Championship. Up next, we got a singles match between Women's NXT Champion Stephanie Vaquer and Ivy Nile. Overall, this match was pretty good. It was fast-paced, it was hard-hitting, and overall just a great showing for the women of NXT. Stephanie Vaquer would pick up the win in this one, and I feel like all these appearances from these NXT stars are really hyping up the all-women's PLE that we're expected to get sometime over the summer. Up next was Pat McAfee's response to the Gunther attack from last week. Pat said that when he got home, he took a long, hard look in the mirror and remembered the man that he really is. He said that when he dies, he wants to be remembered for being charitable, hardworking, empathetic, and most importantly, loyal. Pat was saying that if Gunther's got a problem with Michael Cole, then he's got a problem with Pat, and he wanted to solve it like a real man. In the ring. Pat McAfee called out Nick Aldis to the ring to confirm a match for him later that night and lift Gunther's suspension. However, Nick had a better idea. Why don't they settle it at Backlash? After everything was said and done for this episode of Monday Night Raw, it was finally time for Sami Zayn to make his decision. Now, I should mention before we really get into the meat and potatoes of this segment that earlier in the night there was a backstage segment where Paul Heyman kind of confirmed to Sami Zayn that if he takes the deal, if he moves over to SmackDown, he will be next in line for a WWE Championship title shot. Now that both Seth and Sami were in the ring, Seth was kind of saying the same stuff he was saying earlier in the night, saying that he was upset that Sami Zayn wasn't on his side. However, he didn't really feel bad because Sami has the option to move over to SmackDown if he doesn't want to get in the way. He was also saying how grateful he was to have Sami as a friend for all those years and that he really, really wants him to go over to SmackDown. Seth doesn't want to have to hurt him. However, we all know Sami Zayn. We all know he wasn't going to accept this deal. He's going to stay on Monday Night Raw. Sami said that he's been a target of these kind of things 1,000 times in his career so far. As Sami declined the offer, just then, Braun Breaker's music hit. This would lead to a match between both Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn for the main event of the show, and let me tell you, this was the absolute destruction of Sami Zayn. Braun Breaker was spearing Sami left and right. This was an absolute squash match, if I do say so myself. We had multiple spears inside the ring. We had spears outside the ring. We had spears through barricades. It was crazy. Sami Zayn looked dead. This match didn't even get a confirmed ending. It was just a disqualification because Sami Zayn couldn't compete anymore. This match really showed the dominance that this faction is going to have in the future, especially with Braun Breaker. I like that Seth Rollins didn't actually have to pull any of those bloodline tactics. He didn't help Braun Breaker in this one at all. He let Braun do it all himself. I feel like this really, really did separate Seth Rollins from Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, unlike what Sami Zayn said earlier on in the show. Seth Rollins has this, mafia boss, empathetic kind of tone to his new character, which I'm a pretty big fan of. I have a feeling that this faction is going to be dominant for a very, very long time. I do still think that they should add a third member, though. If you enjoyed last night's episode of Monday Night Raw and this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment to let me know what you thought, and of course, subscribe as well for more weekly wrestling content just like this. I'll see you in the next one.